First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth in sincerity, and a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth in places that people may not even know that there was an Israelite in, Could be, because this thing is spreading fast, and, well, got some articles here that I wanted to read. Congressman urges United States to recognize Syria's Golan Heights as Israeli territory. So, as they recognize Jerusalem as the capital of the Israeli state, so they're looking to do so the same with the Golan Heights. A member of Congress has urged the United States to recognize Syria's Golan Heights as an Israeli territory after Washington's relocation of its embassy to Jerusalem Al-Quds last week. So, we know the history here, but I'll read it anyways. Israeli state seized the Golan Heights from Syria during the 1967 Six-Day War. A lot of people try to claim that as the Psalm 83 War, which technically Psalm 83 is when all these nations gathered together and were confederate, that we, the Hebrew Israelites, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, we would no longer remember that we were the Israelites. That's what that's talking about, but they try to link it to this. Anyhow, and has continued to occupy 2/3 of the strategically important territory ever since, in a move that has never been recognized by the international community. No, because it doesn't belong to the Israeli state. The Israeli regime has built tens of illegal settlements in the area since its occupation and has used the territory to carry out a number of military operations against the Syrian government. So, anyhow, this is going to cause, more and more nations to hate the whore and to want to burn her with fire. So, let's go ahead and take a look at something else here. Hawaii lays alert. Even lava cooling in the sea is horrendously dangerous, and Hawaii residents are facing a new threat from the Kailua volcano as lava has begun to flow into the ocean, creating an acutely acidic side product called laze. And so, there's more details on this. Incorporated, the words lava and haze is a mix of hydrochloric acid, steam, and the fine glass particles. It is created when super hot lava hits the cooler seawater. It can cause lung, eye, and skin irritation. So, anyhow, we know that we have a camp there, so I always say let's pray for that camp. But there's even more. These things are now starting to form eggs, and Dabu7 put up a video, so I'm going to show that here. Let me get that video real quick.
We have some residents capturing images of some of the unique things that are going on in terms of the geology and the movement of the magma or lava coming from out of this volcano. And as you can see here, it's what some have depicted as looking like an alien-like lava egg, is what they're called, these lava eggs, appearing in different places. Now, a majority of these are being spotted in areas around the fissures, where there's not massive eruption, but there's kind of a slow outpour of the lava as it's hardening. And as you can see here,
can you say beginning of birth pains?
These egg shapes are formed in the process. Now, this most recent ejection of ash and debris has left a pretty good mess all over the place, but, the people here seem to be very upbeat. From what I can see and what I'm hearing, the kids playing, communities coming together, lots of food available for the people as they're coming together, which is a good thing. I like to see this type of environment, a disaster type of setting, where people are making the most of it, but the good mood is being tempered by their displeasure at how the USGS, the National Park Service, and the government are not talking to each other effectively, and they feel they are not getting information in a timely manner. Imagine that.
So, that's Esau for you. Anyhow, I thought I'd just show that.
And I find that this statement is very interesting in terms of the Red Cross. They state that the Red Cross are supposedly involved, but because they are bound by health and safety and rules and regulations, they didn't want anything to do with helping the community-led effort. Another interesting note, even though there were soldiers all over the place, and they were supposed to not let people go to dangerous spots, which is true, they did not enforce any restrictions regarding access to the 16, 17 fissure breakouts. So they were kind of like eyeballing the situation as it unfolded, and they were allowing people to go in and get these shots. They weren't keeping them back, far, far away, being pricks about it or anything else like that. Even though I guess they were not supposed to be letting people get extremely close, they were letting them get close enough to at least capture some images and to document the event, which was cool and respectable versus them being complete pricks and pushing everyone back and saying no one's allowed around here, even though you are at a safe distance. I mean, this is part of life, living on a volcano, but it's interesting to see how the National Guard troops willing to work with people in a cordial manner, but the Red Cross doesn't want anything to do with it.
Imagine that, though. So you know as well as I do when trouble comes, Esau doesn't give a fuck. Anyhow, let's go to the next video, or event. Okay, next article. U.S. to apply strongest sanctions in history on Iran. And this is Pompeo. Iran will struggle to keep its economy alive after U.S. applies unprecedented financial pressure on Tehran, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo vowed on Monday. Thanks to our colleagues at the Department of Fuckery, sanctions are going back in full effect and new ones are coming. These will indeed end up being the strongest sanctions in history, Pompeo said. So, it's fuckery, and of course it's going to cause the EU to hate the whore, and there's more here. U.S. has bigger stick to hold EU hostage over Iran sanctions. As Brussels aims to circumvent U.S. sanctions against EU companies doing business with Iran, former European Commission Vice President Günther Verheugen told RT that America still has the bigger stick. Yeah, because they like to put that stick up everybody's ass, and these nations are getting tired. It's like, wait a minute, who the fuck is this fucking America to tell us who we fucking can and can't do business with? They don't fucking live here, so why the fuck should we let them fucking dictate to us, I'm afraid that the terrorists, a.k.a. Americans, have the bigger stick here, said Verheugen. If you were a European company or a German car maker, for instance, if you look at the figures, what kind of business you do in Iran, what kind of business you do in the United States, you have not much choice, and you will decide not to invest in Iran. You will continue to invest and make business with the United States. So, again, this eventually will escalate because you can already see what's happening, though. Let's see here. Let's go to Syria. Syrian Arab Army declares Damascus area secure after clearing out ISIS-controlled pockets. So this is the real reason for the Israeli state attacks there, because, of course, they're sending in the terrorists from the Golan Heights area, which, the whore, Babylon the Great, is beginning to recognize. The Syrian Arab Army has declared Damascus and its surrounding fully secure after regaining control of a former Islamic State, a.k.a. Israeli State, formerly known as ISIS and ISIL, strongest in the southern part of the city. The Syrian Arab Army made the announcement in a televised statement after establishing control of the Damascus neighborhood of Al-Hajar al-Aswad on Monday, according to local media. So, they're regaining control of these once held terrorist territories, but there's more. U.S. anti-tank missiles found at former al-Nusra front facility in Syria. And so here it is. U.S.-made TOW anti-tank missiles, along with other weapons, have been found in facilities once controlled by the al-Nusra terrorist militants in Syrian's Homs province, the Russian Defense Ministry said. So, that this is part of what's going on, but guess who's helping to protect these terrorists? Well, let's take a look here, because I also got a video on this, too. Gomer. Gomer reinforces enter Syria's Idleb province to foster observation point. In other words, they're here to protect the terrorists. A Turkish military convoy entered today the Syrian province of Idlib to further enhance the military buildup in one of the observation points deployed in the area. The convoy, which included armed and logistic vehicles as well as servicemen, headed to the Sarman village located in the eastern countryside of the province, where where Gomer Army has set up an observation point earlier. So again, this is an invasion, and of course I have video here, so I'm going to play that real quick. Okay, fucking goddamn Esau cut me off, so I'm going to reread it. Mysterious incident kills 3 American terrorists in northeast Syria. 3 U.S. military terrorists were reportedly killed in the northeastern province of Hasaka, local sources said. 3 U.S. military vehicles crashed while patrolling Tal Tamar town, killing 3 terrorists immediately, because the U.S. occupation is terrorism, by the way. However, other reports spoke of a roadside bomb that went off as the vehicles passed by. AMN cannot verify the authenticity of both narratives. Earlier, the northern city of Raqqa, currently held by the U.S.-backed terrorists, has seen demonstrations held by locals to protest the terrorist occupation. A popular resident from front was even informed in Raqqa, vowing to carry on resistance until the city is liberated. Yeah, from these goddamn terrorists, a.k.a. U.S. occupation. The group claimed responsibility for targeting forces from the United States terrorists and Kurdish terrorists across the area. So that's what's going on there. And there's also another article here, so we'll pull that up. Because, the media tries to block out what's really going on here. They don't want you to know what's really going on. By the way, if you do watch Syriana analysis, just because he expressed what's going on with Palestine, his video was taken down because, of course, it goes against Amalek. Breaking: Syrian Arab army splits ISIS pocket, Amajad Jihad collapse. So, yeah, man, Bashar al-Assad and the Syrian Arab army are gaining ground, and that's why the Israeli state is constantly attacking, because this is what they wanted. Of course, this fucking piece of shit doesn't want to fucking work because, of course, I'm trying to tell the truth here. So they, Esau fucking constantly fucking freezes my computer. Meanwhile, the government forces marched on the western axis. God damn it! The Syrian forces managed to split the latest pocket in southern Damascus following the fierce battles with a terrorist group. The advance, which has led to enclave, was carried out from 2 different axes from the east. Syrian Arab Army troops established rule control over the cemetery area in Sport Stadium with all surrounding buildings. I'm going to try to get a couple scriptures. I might just be able to only get 1 or 2 verses because time's running short. You can only do 15 minutes on these. Obadiah, verse 2. Behold, I will make you small among the nations. You will be greatly despised. The pride of your heart has deceived you, you who dwell in the cliffs of the rock. Let's talk about these cave dwellers. Well, what does cave dweller translate to? Caucasians. Whose habitation is high? You who say in your heart, who will bring me down to the ground? In other words, nothing could ever tear down the United States. Nothing could ever tear down our empire. Though you ascend as high as the eagle. Another point that it proves that it's America. At though you set your nest among the stars. Well, who is it that hath said in thine heart, I will ascend above the clouds?